Well, welcome to another painting. The last painting was, well, as you know, an autumn scene in drier climates. This is going to be something, well, one of the views that we used to have. My wife, myself, and my children used to live on one of the Gulf Islands, in between Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland in British Columbia in Canada. We got to do a lot of exploring by boat, so a lot of beautiful views. And typically when I do something that involves that area, I put a lot of rocky structure in there. This time I think I'm going to back up and I'm just going to have a bit of a view. So I have it in my head already, sort of the drawing that I want, or the design of the painting that I want. So I've been spending a lot of time deciding where, not my horizon, but where the water is going to meet a landmass, because I'm going to have a large landmass back here, or some landmass of some sort in the distance. I needed to decide, where the water was going to meet that. Now I've got this line pretty high on the painting. That's because I intend to have foreground showing here, right across the entire width of the painting. So, so I can afford to raise this area. Anyway, it's kind of funny. You can probably see the smudging here, but I laid a line in about, what is that? About 3/4 of an inch higher than the line that I have in now. And that may seem insignificant, but it's not. That 3/4 of an inch is really important. It just, to me it is anyways. So somehow when I had it where I had it before, it just seemed a little high. I don't want too much power down below. I want, our strength of gain has to be in here somewhere. So that's why I dropped the water line. Okay, I'll be quiet now for a moment. So, just having some thoughts on this landmass back here, and I think I'd like to have something like so. I don't believe that I'd like it too far off in the distance. One tree behind another. Let's see here. I'm not even sure if I want to do this, actually. It's just... I'm just putting stuff in here, and I'm not putting strong lines on here because I'm not sure. They're kind of your most important lines. So you want to get them right. And you see a lot of this, a hillside, rocky structure, mostly tree covered. And then you'll come down and there'll be a knoll with a couple of trees, and then another boulder face. And in a lot of areas, these trees are not tortured because you don't get the wind that you do on the actual west coast of Canada. These are somewhat sheltered, so they're often a little more triangular in shape. Not perfect, but as I mentioned before, trees, these conifers are not triangles, but that's, if they were sort of left to their own devices, they would more or less have that shape, I suppose. So let's just start with that and break them down from there. Honestly, my initial intention was to not even have this much detail here, but now that I have it on the board, oh, and I don't mind that either. The board, the canvas. I'm flirting with a bit of a different idea, but not much different. You know what I mean? I always do this. I'm the most unreliable painter on earth, as far as sticking to the plan is concerned. Okay, so a bit of a passage in behind this knoll. Bit of a rock sticking there, showing there. Trunk. I don't really like that one. I think I don't like that one because I've already put in detail that I have no business putting in just yet. Okay, 2 fangs, get rid of them. At least get rid of one of them. Actually, just get rid of this whole line. Actually, get rid of a little more of that line. Let's say it went a little bit flatter there for a moment. Very straight line. Make that very straight line a little bit less of a very straight line. Not too bad. I want these trees to have a little bit of character. So far, my thoughts are of using a knife, so I don't want to introduce too much detail just yet. Let's do that. And yeah, I like that idea. Like that idea. If I see something that I think that I want to keep there, then I will generally go over it, as you can see, just quickly to define it a little more strongly. Okay. And how about no, sorry, I'm doing the phantom drawing again. I have to. I just have to. For me, there's no way around it. And I may be worrying too much about this because my intention is to put a few trees in the foreground. I could be wrong, but that is my thinking so far. You know, maybe what I should do, maybe what should be done here is to establish some motion. Oppose this. Nope, that's not enough. Oppose this slightly. And then oppose this, and then come up on the edge. Just trying to understand some flow. That's all. Just some flow. I'm just putting in lines. I'm not, defining for sure where the close shoreline is. Yeah. Okay. I don't like that. That's too high. I'd like to let the eye out somewhere. You know. Maybe that's a little more like it. Maybe that's a little more like it. No, I don't quite like that. Go a little bit lower. Okay, I'm going to have a ponder. Okay, well, I keep disregarding the foreground, so maybe we'll just work on some rocky structure here. Let's see. How's that? Does that, let me just back up a little bit and have a look here. It's just kind of... Oh, wait a minute. So, I'm rapidly losing sight of what I want to do here. So let's literally lose sight of my my failed attempt. So I completely got off track. As soon as I had these shapes in here, I thought, oh, this would be nice. Wouldn't that be pretty? Etc., etc. So immediately I started drawing, the major interest of the painting here. It was going to be about a little sort of bit of land that I was going to make interesting. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. What I want to try to end up with in this painting is more of a decorative piece, less about the truisms of a landscape, and more about the looseness and some strength in color and bold strokes. I plan on using a knife for this again. So I want to reestablish that. I just have that in my head. That's what I wanted. And boy, did I get off the path in a hurry. So let's begin by cutting this back in. Never mind anything else. Foreground. Different approach. Rather than drawing in this stuff, let me put in some foreground first. roughly and quickly. Okay, let's say that there'll be foliage here that dips down into the foreground. There'll be some there, but this is the main part here. Keep that trunk from going off the painting. How about if we had a young one? Just a little guy sitting there. I don't know if there's any harm in that. It may go. It may stay. I'm not really worried about it. Okay, not that too strong. Okay. Good start. Well, this is certainly changing. Coming up with an entirely different painting. I certainly prefer this. It's more aligned to what I wanted to do to begin with. So, or with what I wanted to do to begin with. So what I think is, let's just take this as bedrock here. Okay, and I'm just going to wipe this line out because I like it, but it'll be secondary. And let's consider the idea of maybe some shape of bedrock here of some sort, you know? No, those aren't individual stones. It'll just be a design in bedrock that's right here, okay? It's not very well done at the moment, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. But obviously what's happened went from this sort of distant, you know, the focus was on the distance, to the focus will still be in the distance, but it's going to be rather the juxtaposition of light and shadow, value, and chroma around here. So our focal area is actually going to end up being in this area. But I'm going to hopefully distribute it. You know, this will be mostly vertical in shape, but this will carry it off. This will carry the focal area off to the left, diminishing as we move off to the left. So what I still want to do is, of course, have some distant hillside here. But let's just consider the a possibility of maybe. See, I want this guy to become much more important than I was originally thinking. So what if we just kind of did a. Let's see if we did. Something along those lines. No, don't like that. Yeah, it's lining up with this, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, that's getting better. Yeah, you know. Yeah, it might be too much. You know, we could have our sky coming in, being very strong. It's entirely possible. There. Scribble, scribble, scribble. There, now it's light scribbling. And I'm not so sure that I want that hill to be so tall in the distance either. So how about if we shorten it? How about if we were to make the angle a little less? Just do that. And you know, I still like this. I quite like this movement of the foliage like this. You know, some sweep. It's not about the wind. Maybe there's no wind at all. It's about the movement, the visual movement of the painting. Okay, that's not great, but it's heading in the right direction, I think. And I do like the idea of some torment in the sky. I always like that. Okay. closer, very slowly. And okay, this has got a lot of content, well-defined content. This will as well, you know. Not worried about that too much. So we have this, we have this, and what's our sky going to do? That's going to be kind of interesting. You know, I might just end up working with a sky with a lot of form. I'm not sure. Well, for the time being, I don't think I'm going to do any more down here. I'm happy to have this little bush here. I did like to have something, not something too important, but you know, for the time being, I'm going to leave that there as well. This sky, I don't know how strong lines I'll put in there. I may end up with just sort of a reflected ambient moisture type of sky. For the sake of the composition for the moment, let's just pretend that we have a band of cloud here. I may use it, I may not, I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. I know that's pretty light and undescript right now. Or indescript. Nondescript. There we go. Okay. Now it's time to paint some lines, which will be on the next video.